Hey guys, welcome to question FM380 of the Further Maths Fortify study guide. This question reads, in order to fund his passion, a surfer makes retro wetsuits and sells them on the beach. The surfer pays $220 to cover his overheads. Each wetsuit costs $12 in materials and will be sold for $55. To make a profit of at least $650, the minimum number of wetsuits the surfer will need to sell is, and then we're given 5 options. Now, to begin this question, we must look at, there are multiple ways of figuring out this question. I'm going to take you through the way that's sort of most natural to me. And that starts by sort of figuring out our equation that's going to land us on an answer. So the first thing I'm going to define here is that the profit is equal to revenue, so the total monies through a business, minus the costs. So once we've removed the costs of running a business from the revenue, we're left with profit. Now I'm going to say that X is the number of wetsuits sold or made or whatever we're dealing with here. So revenue is just sort of the total money that goes through a business, and we've been told that the surfer is selling each of these wetsuits for $55. So in order to calculate the revenue, we're just going to times the number of wetsuits by 55. So that if we sell one wetsuit, this is going to be $55 of revenue. If we sell 2 wetsuits, it'll be $110 worth of revenue, and so on. This is our revenue equation here. And then to look at our costs equation, we're going to say that cost is equal to $220 because we're told that he's paying $220 to cover his overheads. And then it's also going to be 12 times the number of wetsuits. So he pays $220 regardless of how many wetsuits he sells. And for every wetsuit that he does sell, he'll obviously need to make, and that will cost him $12 in materials. So the reason there's a plus here is because this equation would spit out a positive number that obviously we would treat as a negative if we were looking at costs, but for now it does the job. So from here, in order to create our profit equation, we know that profit is equal to revenue, which we've said in this case is 55x. So we're going to replace revenue with that 55x minus cost, which is going to be our 220 plus 12x. And I've put it in brackets because we want this minus sign to affect both the 220 and the 12x. And this won't happen if we're not in brackets. We'll just minus 220 and then add 12x. The way this is going to work now is minusing 220 and minus 12x. From here, we've got an equation that we can use to find our answer because we know that we've got $650 of profit that we're looking for. We can solve for x. So we're going to pull out the solve function in our calculator from here. Now, of course, you don't need to write the solve function that you use in these questions. You can just, from here, you'd probably have to write out the 650 for profit equals 55x minus 220 plus 12x. But assuming you just had this equation here, underneath you would just write x equals. No need to jot down all this solve stuff. So we're solving for x. At this point, you should get an answer of x equals 20.2325, something after that. It's a decimal. And you might land here and think, oh, well, this doesn't come out as a nice whole number. Don't let that throw you. The trick to this question lies in the fact that there is sort of decimal places following that are supposed to throw you off a bit. He needs to make at least $650 in profit. We can see here that in order to make $650 worth of profit, he needs to sell 20 wetsuits and then almost a quarter of a wetsuit. This is impractical, but it's also telling us that 20 wetsuits would be too low, which means, therefore, he needs to sell 21 in order to make at least $650. He'll make more than $650 in profit, selling 21, but the question did say at least. So, since 21 is our answer, that means our answer is option E. And if you guys have any questions about this question, please leave them for us in the comment section below.